What up, Naughty Steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and this is a video that I just felt I needed to do. As you all probably know by now, there was a lot of backlash following Lost Lands Festival, all of which is addressed perfectly in these videos from Erin and Brian, Rinier, and the festival Vanessa, the full versions of which I shall link in the description box down below. They both debunk all the myths from the festival perfectly, from everything regarding the deaths, to the water, to getting in, and rumours about the weather situation at the end. Setting the record straight, explaining how and why these rumours weren't true, and shining a light on the positives instead. Which is what I'm going to try and do in this video. Honestly, I think there's little more to add regarding the main issues. I think Erin and Brian did a fantastic job in that respect. But there were a load of things about Lost Lands 2018 that I really enjoyed and would love to talk about. Either to reminisce with those that went or to explain to those that didn't just how many amazing things there were to make this event as fantastic as it was. This video will take the form of a review though, as there are a few things I'd like to suggest for next year if possible. Entirely expected for a festival in its second year, don't get me wrong, they did an insane job, but there's always room for improvement with these small things. Gonna quickly run through those things I think they could change for next year, because let's be honest guys, it's happening next year. And then finish up with all the amazing things, because that's how we want to end, on the good stuff. Which will include a couple of musical moments from the festival as well, things that were just too good to ignore. No, it's been a while since the festival ended now, but I've had a couple of weeks to reflect on everything and gather my thoughts, and this is what I've come up with. And lastly, before I get started, I made a 6-part series documenting my time at Lost Lands, travelling from the UK. Was a pretty insane experience and perfect for curing those post-Lost Lands blues, so check it out if you'd like. I'll leave the link to the playlist just here. But anyway, on with the review, and these are the things that I feel could be improved for Lost Lands going forward. Firstly, the portaloos on the campsites. They need a flush. I mean, a load of them were out of order after one day because there was just so much stuff in them. You get these foot flushes at other festivals, probably a little pricier, but definitely a worthwhile investment, I can assure you that. Secondly is signage. I feel like they could have done with a few more signs around the festival. They did really well updating people with set times and what was going on in that respect, but could have done with a few more directional things. Also at the sound camps, distinguishing each stage from one another, telling us which one is which, would have been great. The third thing I'm going to mention is food. They needed more outright vegan and vegetarian stalls, I'm afraid. To my knowledge, within reach, there was only 2 out of about 60 or 70 stalls that I could definitely get my food from. Some people don't want to eat animals, and it's the way forward. I mean, come on guys. When Lost Lands is still going in 100 years, it'll be pigs, sheep, and cows instead of dinosaurs at this rate. The next thing I'm going to mention is water, because as much as it pains me to say it, by the third day, the station water, it was dirty. And you can never tell how much people are exaggerating with what they say online, but many were telling of how they got sick from drinking it. Again, just something to watch for next time, because available water being clean, it is important. The next thing I'm going to talk about is security now. This is a very important thing for people in terms of feeling safe, and you know, as soon as Erin and I had camped up, I clocked that we hadn't been searched at all. Don't want to extend the amount of time getting in, of course, but really, this is another very basic and important thing. To be honest, I've heard for others that the security was a little bit too strict, so maybe just to even it out across the board. The next thing I'm going to suggest is getting the exact right mix between organisation and the amount of people they let in. I wasn't embroiled in it myself, but I've seen a lot of people complain about how long it took to get in, and whilst that's bound to happen with so many people, I think a balance can be struck here. Don't allow more people next year, it may bring in more money, but I feel it was the perfect amount this time. Don't bring in more just because. Or allow more people but make the flow of things much more efficient and ordered, maybe with fewer early entry passes. I know it's difficult, trust me, I know that more than anyone, but these are the things that matter to people. But as I said, it's only their second year, it's early days, it's to be expected. Would be almost freakish if everything was perfect on that front. I've seen other things like more trash cans in the camping areas and more stuff being available to VIP attendees, but you know, aside from that, everyone will always have their own things to complain about. Which is fine, that's okay, but make sure it's well reasoned and constructive, because at the end of the day, Jeff and co have put on a real show for us here. And on that note, the positives. Gosh golly, where do I start? Firstly, the layout was fantastic. I love a little journey to the festival from the camping grounds. Mine was shorter than most, but I could have had it much longer. In my opinion, having that distance between the main festival area and the camping grounds really worked and gave you something to look forward to as you walked back from the festival to the sound camps. Also, the layout of the festival grounds themselves, where everything was positioned, from the main stages to the dinosaurs and the vendors and the VIP areas. There was just a great dynamic between everything there. Nextly, the sheer spectacle that it was, the whole production side of things, from the music to the visuals, the pyrotechnics, the fire, the volcanoes, it was just insane. The amount of stuff there to take you away was incredible. I witnessed the deconstruction of all of these things on the Monday morning in the pouring rain, and the amount that goes into making these things, it's maddening. The lights too though, I mean, God, there were some amazing laser shows going on. The way the artists were spread out over the 3 main days, and timings wise, I feel like there was always variation and an alternative. Couple of really problematic clashes, but apart from that, I think they did really well on that front. I mean, just think about how many amazing producers you saw play live across those 3 days, and how they fitted them all into that space of time. Unbelievable, really. The cavemen and cavewomen actors were so awesome. I mean, I know it's their job, but they were all so into it and made that whole Jurassic prehistoric experience all the more real and immersive. I loved it. All the colourful stuff. I mean, a lot of people that went to Lost Lands are not really about that plur life, but I think it made the experience just all the more magical. And it's not something that I've seen a lot of in the UK, having gone to a lot of festivals here. So maybe it's just for me personally, but it was new, and yeah, it was just a great thing to see. And on that attendee note, the totems, gotta give a shout out to them. Absolutely epic banter for the most part. Apart from the Datsic one, of course, whoever that was that brought that definitely could have stayed at home, my friend. The sheer range of tents and pop-ups around the festival, from candy stores to artists and painters, fire dancers, merchandise, well-being tents. There was just a lot of cool stuff there that can't go without being mentioned, and it's always good having that march outside of the music itself. You could also even ride some of the dinosaurs during the day, which was pretty cool. Moreover, the sound camps were brilliant. There were a few sound issues, but it was just a great place to go to at the end of the night. Proper fun, and saw some amazing performances there, from Chime notably. Following on from that, I want to talk about the weather warning, and if you're someone who has used that against them in being critical of the festival, then shame on you. You know, they were really looking out for us and just warning us for the worst. And lest we forget, they rescheduled the whole of day 3 pretty much in a very short amount of time. This is the problem with social media, you know, mob mentality. As soon as one person comments, then everyone rails in. Just leave it out. I mean, you really think they're not trying to ensure that we have the best time? It is their reputation on the line after all. With thousands of cars stuck in the mud trying to get out, those same people would have complained that they didn't warn us about the flood and the hurricane and the storm. Hate to say it, we should even be grateful that that didn't happen on the Thursday or Friday or Saturday night. Can you imagine them ending the festival then and having to evict us? Yeah, that's what I thought. On a personal level, having a security guard tell Erin, Brian and I that they were enjoying it because we were the hype people, the Lost Lands cheerleaders as he called us, within the middle of the main festival area. That was special. He obviously didn't enjoy the music, but said that it was through our energy that he could feel it more and have more fun doing what he was doing, and that meant the world. But I feel everyone brought that, you know. The energy throughout the whole festival was insane, people going ham from the first second to the last. And lastly, in terms of general Lost Lands 2018 positives, the Vloglands meetup before Hesh, thank you so much to all that came. Was amazing meeting all of you and raging together. The time of my life, honestly, and I think that is a sentiment that would be shared by Erin and Brian, respectively. And finally, I just want to go through a few musical moments that really stood out to me. Sullivan King's intro to start the festival, announcing everyone that was going to be playing in that massive back-to-back. It was epic. If you haven't seen it already, check out part 2 of my series I did. Honestly, he just got everyone so hyped. The intro to the set from Hero Bust, refashioning his track WTF to fit the Jurassic Park theme tune, one of the most incredible things I've ever seen live. The intro to the set from 12th Planet and Virtual Riot as well. Can't quite remember what it was, but it was hilarious. Their energy and humour throughout was just top notch. And the mosh pit when Virtual Riot played Chop Chop, oh my, that was a bit decent. It was also my first time seeing Excision, and really, his visuals completely transform our understanding of dubstep music, allowing us to realise the images that it conjures up. All the demons, dinosaurs, beastly animals, that's exactly how you visualise that music. Incredible stuff. And finally, gonna run through my favourite sets of the weekend: Space Laces, Sudden Death, Rusko, Chime, and of course, DJ Diesel. The best secret special guest, I mean, everyone was guessing, is it Skrillex? Is it Zed's Dead? Is it Bad Clot? Nah, this was perfect, just so much fun, and brilliant know-how from Jeff and co to get him on board. And I mean, if you're someone that's complaining about him being the special guest, oh Jesus, just lighten up. Think about how it is for someone living in Europe and never being able to see any of these artists play live. Be grateful for what you've got. But yeah, as you can see, not perfect by any stretch, but a fantastic festival experience still, and really quite encouraging going forward. Only their second year, don't forget that. Mistakes are bound to be made, but also learnt from. And in rounding that up, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below with what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, anything I may have missed out. And if you're going to be critical, please make it constructive and well reasoned. I don't want to see any outright hate here. There's just no need for it. If you're new here, I cover bass music across EP and album reviews, top 10s, live footage, opinion pieces. So if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know guys, so be sure as always to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.